Visible light is a range of electromagnetic waves that can be seen by the human eye. Remember that electromagnetic waves are transverse waves that are able to travel and carry energy without oscillating matter. Here we have two types of lamp, which both emit electromagnetic waves. The UV lamp emits ultraviolet waves. However, we cannot see these waves as they have a frequency too high for our eye to process. We similarly can't see infrared waves because they have too low a frequency. However, the visible light from a torch has a frequency not too high or too low. It's in the range that our eyes can process, so we can see this light. In fact, we need this visible light to see it all. If there's no visible light present, our eyes wouldn't be able to tell where objects are. But if these waves can still have a range of frequencies, does that mean all visible light is the same? Well, the colour of visible light depends on the frequency of the electromagnetic wave. Here's an example of the visible spectrum. You might recognise it as the pattern of colours formed by a rainbow. From left to right, we can see red, yellow, green, blue, and violet, along with some other colours in between, like orange bridging red and yellow. Notice that some colours, like browns and pinks, aren't on this spectrum. That's because we get these colours by overlapping different waves from the spectrum. We also get white light by overlapping every type of visible light, and then black is where there is no visible light at all. But why are the colours arranged like this? Well, each colour corresponds to an electromagnetic wave of a particular frequency. So from left to right, this spectrum shows the waves of increasing frequency. For your exam, you won't be expected to recall the exact order of these colours, but you do need to know that the lowest frequency of visible light is red, and the highest is violet. We can also visualise these changing frequencies and wavelengths with a wave pattern like this. If the light is travelling through a vacuum, then red light has the longest wavelength, and violet light has the shortest. But also note that it's only the frequency and not the wavelength that affects colour. If the light slows down, it won't change colour as the wavelength changes, but the frequency doesn't. Now let's look at how this spectrum fits with the overall electromagnetic spectrum. The visible spectrum only makes up a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is similar to the visible spectrum, where we can arrange all of the electromagnetic waves based on their frequencies. We can then categorise and group the waves in a table like this one. Here, our scale of frequencies goes from 10 to the power of 5 Hz, or 10,000 Hz, to 10 to the 20 Hz, which is over 1 trillion Hz. So this is a huge range that all the electromagnetic waves cover. So where does the visible light fall in this spectrum? Well, it would go in this small section here, with the red end of the spectrum on the left and the violet end on the right. The frequencies of these ends are roughly 4 times 10 to the 16 Hz and 8 times 10 to the 16 Hz. You don't need to remember these values though, but you should be aware just how small this range is compared to the rest of the spectrum and the groups in it. The portion of visible light on the spectrum also helps us to name 2 other groups. The group just to the left is the infrared waves, or IR for short. These waves are called this since they have frequencies just below that of red light. Similarly, to the right of the visible spectrum, we have ultraviolet waves, or UV. This is because these waves have frequencies just above violet light. Remembering this can help us when recalling how different waves are arranged on the electromagnetic spectrum.
Thanks for watching. If you want to take your GCSE revision to the next level, head over to launchpadlearning.com and check out our smart learning platform that's been designed to get you top results in your exams. We cover your whole specification and make revision fun with interactive quizzes, easy-to-follow videos and more. You'll be kept motivated by your own AI tutor who's here to support you every step of the way. To check it out for yourself, click here. Or click here to keep watching a selection of the videos from our full GCSE Physics course. See you there!